Hey guys, how's it going? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be talking about future keywords, looking into what we will see next month in JP and in about 4 months time in global. So let's look at set 9 to approximately set 12. So first of all, in the paper format, this is TD08 to TD13 and BT10 to BT15. So the trial decks in Vanguard Zero are generally integrated into the booster sets, and because some clans are not in the actual main sets, for example, Spike Brothers, Grand Blue, Neo Nectar, the number of sets actually decreased from approximately 5 to 4. So what will these sets contain? It contains support for the previous clans that we've seen before, some clans that aren't in Zero yet, like Mega Colony, for example, and also two new clans, Genesis from United Sanctuary and Link Joker. So let's look at what kind of new keywords will be coming up. First of all, subclans, a keyword that streamlines deck building, right? So here we have an Eradicator, and this is the subclan for Narukami. These cards generally, in the next few sets, generally work around a specific keyword. Oh, All Might fell down. No. But anyways, so these cards will require a cost or cards with the same name in the same subclan to work more efficiently. So for example, here we have Draconic Descendant, a really strong card. Its skill, the first skill is Counterblast 1. Choose 3 cards with Eradicators in this card name from your hand and discard them. So in order to make use of these cards more effectively, you should play an Eradicator deck specifically, not just a Narukami deck. Of course, it's still viable to bring in like old, really good cards into the Eradicator deck, but generally speaking, this allows newer players an easier winning image to see how you move forward with deck building. Of course, for Narukami, there's other archetypes other than Draconic Descendant. There's Gauntlet Buster Dragon. There's Vowing Sword Dragon. So there is still room for creativity, but generally it means that the card pool that you're playing around with, in order to build the most effective deck, is smaller. Next, we have Break Rides. So break your limits by riding up. This is basically again, it's part of the limit break skill. However, it activates when you ride on top of that card. So, for example, we talked about Vowing Sword Dragon. It's a Narukami card. When you ride a card on top of it, when you have 4 more damage, you activate Limit Break, you get +10, and then a clan-specific skill. In this case, it's to retire something from your opponent's front row. Some clans require Counterblast to use it, for example, Dimension Police and Shadow Paladin, but they give stronger bonuses other than the +10k. So it's a great way to support old decks as well, because you don't need the specific subclan or key name in order to make use of these break rides. And there's multiple break rides per clan as well in some cases. For example, Dimension Police has one that supports Daikaiser by adding more power and giving more skills, while there's one mainly for Zeal support, which minuses your opponent's Vanguard's attack. And so there's multiple types of break rides, and there will be more break rides going into the future sets as well, though only a handful, but it will definitely support old decks if you choose to play more unique or creative decks ideas. Next, we have Quintet Walls. So this is a new Sentinel guarding mechanic. So currently, right now, we only have Perfect Guards, right? And Perfect Guards, you use guards to attack completely, perfectly. Quintet Wall, how it works is you Counterblast 1, you check top 5, and you guard with the 5 cards. Now, for Vanguard Zero, Perfect Guards don't really work the same. It procs, it activates when you're about to hit 5 or more damage, and protects you from getting to 5 or 6 or 7, etc. damage. So, from my perspective, I'd feel like Quintet Wall would be changed up quite a bit. It could work like Counterblast 1, check out 5, and then add those like values to your Vanguard. So for example, if it's a normal unit, you get the +5. If it's a trigger unit, you get +5 and then +5, so +10, and then you get the sum of that. Um, but how do you activate it is a different question. You know, like does it activate the same as a perfect guard? Then why not just play a perfect guard, right? So you know, we'll see what Game Studio does. Maybe they'll just ignore it. But you know, well, it's something that was in the main game, so it's relevant. Something else that I'd like to point out about Sentinels is that you know these future coming Sentinels, not just Quintet walls, like normal perfect guards, will have a reprint with the specific subclan printed on it. So, for example, you know, Gold Paladins already have Mark McLear. They will get like a Liberator perfect guard. What that means is right now, if you do look into the future cards and you do want to play some subclans, consider saving some of your Sentinel medals for these subclans because you know you could it does the same thing, but as we've seen with Dragonic Descendant, sometimes the subclan name actually makes your plays more efficiently. So do consider saving them up. But I'm sure if you really want to, you know, just play everything, then just roll more packs and you'll eventually get those Sentinels anyways. Next, biggest game-changing keyword till today, lock, right? What it does is basically it turns one of your cards or your opponent's cards face down, and it loses all its abilities, stats. It loses all its text. It doesn't do anything. It's no longer treated as a card. It's treated as a locked circle. It can't do anything. So this is huge because, like, for example, if you lock a grade 1, your opponent can't boost anymore. If you lock a grade 2, your opponent can't intercept anymore because it loses the text. And most importantly, your opponent can't call or like burn it. It's stuck there. They can't do anything to deal with it so far. So it's a really strong mechanic. It's you know, primarily used offensively by Link Joker. So as you can see from Chaos Breaker Dragon, a really iconic card. You can Caramelast one, choose a Starvator from your hand, discard it, and choose one of your opponent's rearguards to lock it. This is really strong in Zero because, as we know, the only way you can actually protect yourself is by perfect guards, Sentinels, and by grade 2s by intercepts, right? So if you lock one of your opponent's Sentinels, then first of all, your opponent can't really attack with that column at all during their next turn, if they have an next turn, because you're going to get extra attacks into the Vanguard, right? So it's going to be really insane. Be sure to check out Link Joker as a clan. It's going to be really good in Zero, unless, you know, Game Studio decides to really heavily nerf it, which, you know, honestly, in terms of game design, they should consider that. Next is Reverse. So in the anime, what happened was Link Joker went to conquer, you know, the worlds, and then some clan leaders and characters got reversed. Basically, what that means is, you know, they turned allegiances and they're now working for the bad guys, you know, the villains, the Void, and so they get to harness the power of reverse and lock themselves. Instead of locking your opponent, though, generally these skills lock your own units, so your Vanguard gets a bonus. So, for example, Silverthorn Dragon Queen Liquier reverse. So Silverthorn is now a subclan, and Liquier gets a cross ride. And so, I mean, there's plenty of reverse units. Most of them are cross rides, not all of them. Most of them are cross rides, and most of them provide you with really strong abilities. So do be sure to check that out. And you know, it's, you know, some are quite surprising. Like, for example, you know, you never expect a reverse to support Liquier. So yeah, don't fret, your old cards still have value. And then lastly, unlock, right? Lock, as we, you know, you just think about it, that's pretty broken, right? So, you know, Bushiroad decided, it's too broken, we gotta fix this. So they decided to, you know, just undo it, just, you know, delete. So now the protagonist clans actually have to get a way to beat the villain, and they get unlock. What it does is you unlock the card, you know, you fix the card. Now, this is good because lock is such a strong mechanic that they needed to find a way to undo it. But the problem is, right, like, if you're facing a non-Link Joker clan, right, and you bring, like, Grand Easel Scissors, for example, which most of its use is to unlock cards, right? Like, it's meant to just hard counter Link Joker, which honestly can't really even do that well, then you're basically bringing a suboptimal deck into your game. So yeah, we really have to see how the metagame, reacts. With the new Zero mechanic where you have 13 grade 3s, there is more space for these unlockers. But yeah, definitely do look into what cards can let you unlock in your favorite clans or decks, so then you can actually play around against Link Joker. That will definitely be a fan favorite. So that's about it for today. A really short overview. If you have any questions for specific things, feel free to just comment down below or PM me. You can find me from social media or any other types of digital media down in the description below. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to follow more content, and check out my other videos. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope you look forward to what is to come. I think the next era, which is the Break Ride era, is honestly my favorite out of all of them. There's just so much more creativity and room to play around with, even though there is subplans. But yeah, check it out and see what you're looking forward to, and remember to save your stuff. All right, thank you.